Hey everybody, it's Donavan Rose from NerdInitiative, and today I am talking about Universal Pictures' newest horror film, The Black Phone. I'm joined by Jordan Isaiah White, who portrays Maddie in the film. Thank you so much for coming, and let's hear a little bit about yourself.
I'm Jordan, and as you heard, I play Maddie in The Black Phone. And I mean, I just love this film so much. Like, I'm super excited about it, obviously, because it's my first feature film. But I'm a huge nerd, I definitely love movies like this that they're just packed with so much. Like, this is definitely not just a horror movie. Like, it's got so much in it, and I just love everything about it. You know, I'm a huge nerd about it. I would probably already be fascinated with it, even if I wasn't already in it. You know, so I just love this film. I'm so glad to just be a part of it.
It's super awesome and exciting that you get to work with like Ethan Hawke and be in such a large production for your first feature film. You did a really great job. You are definitely nothing like your character, so you are a good actor because I'm not gonna lie, I hated your character, but you are a very nice guy. So I hated the character, not the actor. That's how it goes. You did a very great
Yeah.
job. But I'm very excited to talk to you about your first feature film. This is your first one. So, what got you into acting, and when did you really decide that this is something that you wanted to pursue?
Yeah. So it wasn't really like something that was very, like, I don't know, it wasn't anticipated over a long period of time. It was a very spontaneous decision, because my family and I figured out that there were auditions being held for a local talent agency. And, I just decided to give it a shot because, I wanted an extra hobby, an extra, just thing to do and pour some interest in. And I'd always been interested in acting, but just like thinking of getting signed with the talent agency and all that, that was really spontaneous. I didn't know how any of it worked until like as soon as we found out about it. We auditioned for that agency. Turns out they loved my monologue, and I got signed with them. And I was really surprised because I was completely new to all of that. And they referred me to some classes, which I continue to take now. They're awesome. And the classes that I took really opened me up even more to the world of acting because I enjoyed my classes so much. Like, they were just fun to take. I mean, just the classes combined with like just the agency just really got me into everything that came with it. And then we've just been taking auditions, getting jobs when we can ever since. So yeah.
That's super cool. It seems like, a lot of people go their whole lives trying to get this, and you got this really quick, and it's just the beginning. You're young, this is your first film, you have another one coming up soon. So this is only beginning. I'm really excited to see what you have going forward. And who would have thought if you didn't see that audition or you didn't go to it, we wouldn't be here today. So crazy how things can happen. Now that you played Maddie in The Black Phone, do you have any like dream role or anything like that, director that you want to work with?
Yeah. So I don't know if I necessarily have like a specific like film in mind or like specific franchise. I love to be my character's lawyer and to justify things about them. I love it when I'm able to actually sit in their shoes and be comfortable in their shoes. And even like if I have to slightly twist my morality to agree with everything that they do,
Mm-hmm.
I just like to be comfortable with the character that I'm playing and just like be able to justify them. Now that's obviously not always able to happen, especially when you're playing like a bully character like this, where their sole purpose of existence is just to cause people a hard time. But really, I don't know if I have like a specific project in mind. I'm looking forward to future projects that just have that character that clicks with me and that I'm able to justify, that I'm able to be their lawyer, even if, again, I have to kind of twist myself to be able to do that. And as for directors, I definitely want to be working with Scott Derrickson again. I mean, he was amazing. He was so welcoming and kind to all of us. He made us aware that we were all appreciated for what we were contributing to the film. And he always gave us like a very good outline of what he wanted us to contribute to the scene, what his vision was, but he also gave us a lot of freedom for how we could interpret our character's role in that scene for ourselves. So, yeah.
He seems like a very good, really down to earth guy. A lot of directors don't really give people that freedom or sit down and let them know, hey, you're doing a good job, especially people who are newer or don't have like a lead role. So that's super cool that he was able to connect with you and make you feel welcome on set. So very cool first experience being on set for you. When you found out that you were cast, how did you react? Do you remember that day? How did your friends, your family react?
Yeah, so I mean, being my first, not only my first feature film to be a part of, but this was my first feature film audition, period. So
Wow.
like I was just overwhelmed with excitement. I was completely just like baffled that I mean, the casting directors and everyone involved, they saw me and they saw the character compared with me and what I was able to bring to that character, and they liked it, and they obviously thought that it was appropriate for what they wanted from it. So I mean, I was just super excited, super pumped. I was a little nervous because I mean I'd never been a part of something this big. I didn't know where it was going, but more than anything, I was just completely just stunned and excited for whatever was to come. And all my friends and family were pretty much the same way. Like they were all pretty much just as excited as I was, which was really nice to feel so like supported in what I was doing. So I really got that from everyone around me. So I was really lucky with that.
Did you know who Ethan Hawke was before? Are you a fan? Were your parents a fan?
Yeah, so I'd known who he was. I can't say that I'd seen too many of his films beforehand. My parents definitely like, especially my mom. She's loved him for a very very long time. So and yeah, I can't say that I knew all that much about him. Like I knew his status. I knew some of the films he was in. Um, so I was still just incredibly excited, to
Right.
see him and to be in a film with someone as like just as far along as him. Like it was just really cool. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's super cool that your mom finally like she's a big fan and she got to see you in a movie with him. Did you actually get
Yeah.
to meet him at all, or I know it's kind of secluded on set and everything, but did you get to meet him at all?
Yeah. So kind of. I
Kind of,
didn't have any scenes with him directly, so
right?
I wasn't able to really have like any like I wasn't able to approach him or have intimate conversation with him. I didn't really get that opportunity just because we weren't really in the same scene together.
Exactly. Yep.
However, the first scene that I did shoot on set, apparently during the shooting of that scene was the same time when Ethan was arriving on set. Like he arrived on set while that specific scene was being shot. But apparently he was watching while that scene was being filmed. And that was just enough to just completely get me to explode from the inside. Like that was just crazy. And apparently after one of the takes for that film, or sorry, for that scene, um, since Ethan had just arrived, he like went up and gave Scott like a big hug in between takes for this shot, or for this scene, because that was his first time on set at the same time that I was filming my first scene. So
Wow.
really awesome coincidence.
Well, I'm glad that you found that out after because it would have probably made you a whole heck of a lot more nervous if you found out that he was coming right before.
Definitely. Oh my gosh.
Being the bully that you were, was it hard for you to kind of be that character? How did you approach a scene when you had to, beat somebody up and then step back from it? Because you seem like a genuinely nice guy. So how did you approach becoming that bully type?
Thank you. So I think a specific scene that comes to mind when I have to just like embody this character while the cameras are on and then just like immediately shift once they're off. Um, the bathroom scene, if you can remember, when all the bullies are coming into the bathroom trying to mess Finney up,
Mm-hmm.
that bathroom was actually a detached building, like that wasn't part of the school. So that whole day, when we were filming that scene, because it did take the whole day for that one scene, and we had a tent. All of us who were in the scene, we had a tent just set up outside where we were just hanging out the whole day. We had nothing to do. We were just getting acquainted with one another because that was really the first time that all of us in that scene, had gotten that much time in the same room to just get acquainted, to get to know each other. So that helped. However, it did make it kind of weird when we were called on and we immediately had to forget all that and act like we were worst enemies, you know.
Right.
So there was, kind of that difficulty that came with changing up the dynamic. But I think one thing that really helped me to get into the character of Maddie was that when I'm entering the bathroom, I have to kick the door like open. So that like just one moment where I kick the door open and there's just like a rush of like energy and adrenaline. I'm able to just like immediately get into the character of Maddie, forget everything that happened outside the bathroom. So I think like just small actions like that can help you to get into a character pretty much immediately. So yeah.
That's super cool that you can just, turn it off like that, like a switch. When you kick the door, automatically, no, I'm no longer Jordan, I am Maddie. The fact that you just starting out and you can do it just like that, you're going a long ways. I can't wait to see where you go from here.
Thank you.
But besides that day on set where it was a whole day just for that one scene, do you have any other favorite days on set or memories that you are going to remember for the rest of your life besides everything?
Oh man. I mean, I just love these people so much. We immediately clicked. And another thing that helped was just that this cast is mostly young people. So, we were able to become friends pretty much immediately. And we were all staying in the same hotel during the time of filming. Yeah, we were able to hang out offset like a lot. And so those nights when we were all just like sitting around a table, talking together collectively, those were some of the best nights of my life. And that's probably what I'm going to remember most from filming this. It's just forming such deep friendships with all these guys. So, yeah. And another thing that comes to mind with best memories from filming itself, not just offset, that same scene that I mentioned earlier, which was the first scene that I ever shot coming onto the set, in between like the first or second take, Scott came over to like give some direction to us and kind of like make it clear what he wanted from the scene, what his vision was. And oh man, he looked at me and he was just talking to me for a little bit, talking about like what he wanted me to do, kind of like mannerisms and stuff. And he mentioned my audition, and he said that like when I came onto the camera during the audition, he knew that I was able to embody a character that he saw and that he was planning. And that compliment just got me to melt. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was just crazy to hear something like that, like a genuine compliment like that from someone as great as Scott. So that was just another amazing memory from being on set. So
you are definitely going to remember that compliment for the rest of your life. The fact that it came from somebody that he remembered you so specifically, like your audition, that's amazing, and that's got to feel good. Got to make you feel good about yourself.
Definitely.
As far as the grabber goes, he targeted a lot of different kids. Why do you think he didn't target Maddie? Do you think he was scared of Maddie? Would Maddie have pounded him, beat him up, escape? What do you think?
So I don't necessarily think that there's like a direct correlation to who he decides to grab and who he decides not to. I think the whole theme is that like the kids that were able to survive in this town survive purely out of luck. The grabber, he's a demented human being. There's nothing justifiable about what he does or why he does it. He's not picky about his victims. So I think that like, I mean, yeah, it was just pure luck. And I think that the reason why they just had random, mostly innocent kids who'd never done anything to hurt or inconvenience anybody, be the victims of this person, was to illustrate that he's just terrible and unjustifiable. He doesn't see anything in his victims that makes him want to grab them and give them the most horrible fate imaginable, more than anybody else. So I don't think there's any direct correlation. Maddie, I think he just survived out of luck, just like everyone else. But if he was grabbed, I don't necessarily see him being able to get out of that basement. He's obviously not the most, he's obviously not the most resourceful person, because he pulled up to beat up Finney with his two other guys,
Right. Here he has no one.
Yeah, exactly. Like the 3v1, like he's not the most resourceful person. However, that doesn't mean that I don't think that he would have been able to possibly help Finney out a bit or give him like a hint or something post-mortem. Like I don't think that Maddie is a person who's just like beyond all morality, you know, just like
Right.
beyond saving, he's just like a horrible person. No, I think he probably would have helped Finney out.
But as far as the Black Phone universe goes, I have so many questions after this film. The grabber only had 5 victims, which means he started pretty recently. Why? What triggered it? He could hear the phone. He said that it was hooked up when he was younger. Could there be some more movies in the Black Phone universe, either a prequel with the grabber's origin story or something with the kids because they're the clairvoyant, they can see and communicate with the spirits? Could they help other serial killers come to light and things like that? Or do you think this is a one and done sort of film?
Originally, I definitely thought that this was just going to be a standalone movie because it's amazing as it is. And some films you don't want to turn that into a franchise, you know. Like sometimes it's just a complete work of art, just that film itself, you know. But I can definitely, now that I think about it, I can see a prequel being made, not necessarily a sequel,
Right.
but I do think a prequel that could explain the grabber's motives, you know, why he did what he did, what happened in his life to drive him to just be such a horrible human being. And also maybe some explanation for all these like numerous supernatural elements that are scattered throughout the film, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I think if much explanation was included in this film, I think it would have taken away from the scare factor. You know, if we were able to find everything out in this film, I think it would have taken away the mystery, and which is mostly why we're scared of it. It's because
Right.
we don't know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't know the whys. But I think that all of that would work very well in a prequel. So I think a prequel is definitely like an open idea.
Well, you need to get Scott on the line.
Yes, yes.
All right, so now we know that you finished your first feature film. You are coming up in Escaping Ohio, which is a teen rom com. You play a younger version of one of the main characters, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well that's exciting. Is was it a lot different? Obviously, a lot different than the Black Phone. What did the Black Phone film first, and then this one, or how did that work? Was it back to back?
So I think the Black Phone, I was on set February and March of 2021. And then I believe I did my parts for Escaping Ohio in like July or August that same year.
Okay.
So yeah, it was later. So yeah.
Have you worked on anything since? Are you looking into working on anything, or are you taking a little bit of a break?
Yeah, so I've done some small things here and there. I was part of like a music video, just kind of like not necessarily like extra. I didn't have any lines, but I was like reoccurring. And like a music video a little while after that. And I've just been in some very small stuff here and there. But largely, I've kind of been taking a break, I guess. We're kind of just taking auditions as they come. I've done a couple of auditions in the past week. Um, I think one thing that I've learned, if anything, from the past couple of weeks with experiencing this premiere and all the amazing things that have come with it, um, acting in itself and being able to contribute what you have inside of you to a great film and a great piece of art, that in itself is enough of a reward. But seeing everything that comes after it, you know, people who appreciate you as an individual for what you brought to the piece, that's a whole other thing. You know, I mean, I really enjoy all the fruits of everything that's come out of this film, and that has opened my eyes to, I guess, what can come out of future projects as well. You know, I mean, like I said, acting in itself is enough of a reward, but feeling appreciated for it is also really great.
Definitely have no doubt, especially with this film being so new, that opportunities are going to come knocking on your door very quick. And I can't wait to see where the future brings you. I thank you so much for joining me here today. But before we go, I do have one quick question. I heard that you're a big nerd like myself. So I do have to ask you, who is your favorite Marvel superhero?
Oh man. All right. Very basic answer, I guess, because very popular character, but I have a lot of justification for it. Definitely Spider-Man.
Oh,
When it
same,
comes,
same.
yes, yes. When it comes to writing a compelling backstory, awesome villains, everything that goes into making a perfectly crafted superhero, I think Spider-Man checks all the boxes. You know, like he's just amazing in every way. So definitely Spider-Man, hands down.
So were you a fan of No Way Home?
Yes,
Good,
yes.
good,
Yeah,
yes.
definitely my favorite Spider-Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to debate and see if it's my favorite Marvel movie as a whole. You know, I really like the Infinity Saga,
Mm-hmm.
but I just love that movie so much.